In this week's 2-minute terrain tutorial, I'll show you how I built this replica of the Thomas Clarke house using cork and paper. The house today is different from how it appeared in 1777, but the model you see in my hand is based on lithographs from the 1800s and information given to me by park historians from the Princeton Battlefield Society. This project uses very simple craft materials. You just need cork, paper, a cereal box, balsa wood, and a dram of 15-year aged Dalmore Scotch. You know, the basics. Start with some quick sketches of the historic farmhouse to get a sense of the measurements you want to use for whatever scale you choose. Then transfer those plans to a sheet of cork. I like using cork for my model buildings because it's cheap, sturdy, very easy to cut with a sharp knife. When it's time to glue the walls together, you can use standard white craft glue, but I prefer a hot glue gun because it dries within seconds to save time. You can then use thin balsa wood or toothpicks to trim out the windows and doorways. While the glue dries, it's time to create some clapboard siding. I use a heavy drawing paper for added thickness. Cut as many 1/4-inch strips as you need and begin gluing them in place from the bottom up, with just a bit of overlap. Working between all the doors and windows will take some trimming. When your new siding is dry, come back with scissors and neatly clip off any long corner pieces. To make the roof, cut a cereal box to match the size of the roof you want, including some overhang. I use packing tape to temporarily hold the roof sections together, before taking some scrap cork triangles and hot gluing them inside the roof peak. This gives the roof support and helps to maintain its shape. Don't forget that your lower roof section needs an extra piece of cork to hold up the inside end. Now it's time for the most annoying part of this job. Cut a series of paper strips, but unlike the siding, mark these in a grid pattern. Using either scissors or a knife, carefully notch the bottom edge of each strip along the grid. This cost me a tedious hour, but when you're done, these strips can be layered on the roof with some overlap to look like a properly shingled roof. It's cheap, but a time-consuming solution. Add some chimneys with cork cut to fit, and you're done. I paint my buildings with a cheap acrylic and heavy dry brushing to achieve the look of weathered wood. Today, the Thomas Clarke house is whitewashed, as you can see, but historians believe at the time of the battle that it was actually unfinished wood. I used this same craft method to create the farm's barn and some other nearby outbuildings. Now, these buildings are approximately 20mm or 1/72nd scale, but you could use the exact same method that we just reviewed to do buildings in any scale from 10 all the way up to 54mm. Join us at littlewarstv.com for more modeling tips.